episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of everything to do with Disney travel in style. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bello Braddock.
And I'm Amelia Bello Braddock. And today, Disneyland versus Walt Disney World Style Edition.
Yes, do people wear the same clothes at Disneyland and Walt Disney World? And if not, what's different? Well, we're just back from Disneyland again. And we decided to do a comparison because we noticed there are some actual stark contrasts in how people, guests in the parks in particular, dress at the two resorts.
It feels very different when you're there. It is noticeably
different. It is noticeably different. You know, we thought of this going into it and we thought, let's see if there's a difference. And I don't think we actually expected these things to be the differences, but they are. So, first of all, you know, one of the great things about visiting both parks is you get sort of a different perspective on the parks itself, but there are differences in style as well. California weather is different. I mean, we really notice it when we go there. It's not humid. You walk around. It's hot. We got a hot week. In the 90s. It never rains. I mean, or rarely.
I don't think it rained the whole time we were there.
It didn't. In fact, there were clouds once. And remember that morning? It shocked us. We went, oh my gosh, there's a cloud in the sky. It was weird. And then
full sun by 9:30.
9 a.m. it's gone. So these differences in weather, no rain, no humidity, or far less humidity than Orlando, Disney World in the summer, don't affect the differences that we noticed in how people dress. So let's get into this. Weather aside, there were sort of three things. I put them in three categories of differences that you will notice. And I mean, you may not want to take them into account if you're a Disney World traveler, but just interesting. Watch when you go. What's the first thing that we noticed was different?
I mean, the first thing that's really popping out at you is the headwear.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was you, I think, who noticed that.
Everyone within 2 feet of you at Disney World has some sort of Mickey ears or Mickey hat or Mickey this or Mickey that. And there definitely are still those things at Disneyland, but they're just more few and far between.
Yeah, I mean, I would go to the point to say it's rare to see Mickey ears or Mickey hat. We had to actually sort of look around to find who's wearing Mickey ears.
I don't think it's rare necessarily.
Well, not rare, but far less.
I also think it was interesting because most of the people wearing Mickey ears at Disneyland were younger. They were like teenagers, early 20s. You know
what I really wanted to do, but I didn't because I don't want to be that guy, is ask them if they were from the East. Oh. Those people wearing those ears and, you know, the occasional Mickey. In fact, there weren't that many hats at all, even ball caps, to be honest, were from the East. Were those, in fact, Disney World travelers, the ones that... I mean, they sell Mickey ears and Mickey headbands in particular, which you see a ton of on guests at Disney World. Not so much there. You know, if you saw an average crowd scene, there'd be maybe one or two people. I mean, whereas at Disney World, there'd be like 40% of the people sometimes.
It's also the different demographic of who's wearing them. That was interesting to me as well. However, this does make it a lot easier if you're watching a show, you know, Fantasmic or fireworks, and you're not trying to jump over top of the Mickey ears. So it was definitely a more pleasant viewing experience that way.
You know, none of these things are good or bad. It's just definite trends we noticed were different. And the next trend is sort of related to that one as well.
If you thought that ears were interesting as a Disney World traveler, there's even less Disney branded clothing.
Yeah, this was weirder for me because ears I can get because I don't like wearing hats and stuff. Or, I mean, I wouldn't wear a headband, but Disney shirts? I mean, we're talking about, you know, the t-shirts you buy there or elsewhere, or even the kind we sell, just Disney shirts. Very like rare or much less than you see at Disney World.
There was almost none.
And I mean, people are wearing, you know, let's talk about what they are wearing. Same sort of stuff, really, right? I mean, t-shirts, shorts, dresses, the same kind of clothes, but generic. Not even other branded, really. Just sort of casual wear that's non-branded.
I mean, that's why I think it's even more important to mention the headwear because a lot of the time a Disney outfit at Disneyland would be plain clothes and then, you know, a Mickey hat or Mickey ears or something like that. I did see not as much as Disney World, but a fair bit of that in contrast to almost no Spirit jerseys. I saw maybe one or two the whole time, whereas at Disney World, every second person is like sporting their latest Spirit jersey.
Yeah, it's very strange because, of course, I mean, if you've never been to Disneyland, it's different, but not different in the sense that every single store sells tons of headbands and Mickey shirts and everything else. So the Mickey wear is there.
My question is, are
for
people
sale.
buying it?
I don't know. It's so, now that I think about it, were the stores less crowded? I think they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just dawning on me now.
I guess to be fair, they don't really have to pay rent. It's just Disney sticks their stuff there.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to us that from a really Disney branded Mickey wear perspective, people don't pack with their, which Mickey shirt should I wear which day like they do at Disney World.
Now, I wonder if anybody has worked at the parks or worked in manufacturing. I really am curious about this because a lot of their merch is the exact same thing that they sell at Disney World, but just with Disneyland on it. Like, I noticed that a lot. Something I'll have, but it'll say Disneyland on the sleeve. So I wonder, do they make less Disneyland merch?
No, they had some. Well, I don't know.
No, but like,
they might,
at Disney World they made 20,000 of the same sweater. Do they only make 10?
They might, because it's a much smaller footprint in terms of guests, right? I mean, there's 3 hotels and 2 parks, whereas Disney World, you've got 50 hotel properties on site roughly, and 4 parks and 2 water parks, and Springs is mammoth compared to downtown Disney and that sort of. So there's just more places to sell and more people. So that could be. And there was a related note that also in terms of what people were wearing that we noticed dramatically. And I have to say, I like the less branded look all around. I got to tell you, oddly for me.
Yeah, so if you're going to Disney World, buy Shuttle Disney.
What was the other thing we really noticed?
Less family shirts were as matching, a vein of that.
Yeah.
I saw one family.
Yeah, one family, and I saw one couple. And I mean, matching Disney shirts, you see them a lot in the cheesy Disney font and all that sort of stuff. Nobody's wearing those at Disneyland. Like, I think we saw 2, a couple and a family, the entire week.
I think also there were some that I consider a little bit different because they were for a special occasion. But those ones seem to be at least not regular Disney travelers, the ones that are like, it's my 2nd birthday, birthday mom, birthday dad. Like, those are cute because you're taking a family photo for an occasion.
Those are one of the ones I was counting. The ones
that
I
was
saw.
The one family. I
think it was a red shirt with gold.
I saw 2 or 3 of those. But they're still very few and far between. But I think those are a little bit different because it's, for a reason.
As opposed to a family being able to find itself. And, it was very crowded. In fact, we were shocked because we like to visit Disneyland towards the end of August because a lot of kids are back in school. But still, it was as crowded as spring break at Disney World. We were surprised. So
I have never seen Disney World as crowded as it was some of those days.
Disneyland.
No, I have never seen Disney World as crowded as it has been some of those days.
At Disneyland. And, we do our same strategy. Cow. So what we do is we go for rope drop, but we leave by noon because we find that the most people start coming, around 11 o'clock.
Well, they can park hop at 11.
Yeah.
So at 11 o'clock, even if there's just as many guests leaving, you see a stream of people coming down, whatever the main street is. It's just like horse.
It would be Main Street.
No, but at California Adventure.
Oh, Buena Vista Street.
Yes, Buena Vista Street. Like,
so all
it's time to go.
All of this to say that it's not because the parks weren't full that we didn't see all this gear. The parks were packed, but people just weren't in their Mickey outfits. And these should be travelers because a lot of locals are back in school, although, maybe they're playing hooky and coming to the parks because...
Yeah, the cast members go, a lot of people like to take their kids out of school.
In the first week.
Yeah.
And then the final, just to complete the ensemble discussion, is footwear. I didn't notice a ton of difference in, variety of footwear, but I did notice one thing in particular. No Crocs.
Oh, yes, a victory for you.
Yeah, if you know me, I just am not a fan of Crocs at all. Just I think they're ugly, sorry Crocs. And
they were still selling Crocs.
Yeah, there were Crocs stores and Crocs in stores, but I did not see one single person, and that includes Grizzly River Run or places where Crocs would actually be good.
I saw flip-flops and slides on
Unless
Grizzly
you were
River
a
Run.
Crocs and socks person, which is the, absolute worst for me. But anyway.
I give you a pass if you work around water.
Yeah. I mean, did you see anybody wearing Crocs the whole week? No. Yeah. And that's where as we've said in past episodes, people wearing Crocs at Disney World, the only kids we see falling flat on their faces are trying to run in Crocs. Anyway, no Crocs. So other than the...
Not to say that there weren't any in the entire, but we just didn't happen to see them.
So all in all, I hadn't thought of this as I'm saying it. Personally, I sort of like the Disneyland overall style.
Oh, yeah, you didn't think of that.
versus the Disney World overall style. While I do personally prefer Disney World, others in our family prefer Disneyland because it's more compact. And we stay at the Grand Californian, so you're right at the park, and the two parks are right across from each other. And downtown Disney, while small, is getting better. There's some good new restaurants there, good dining, and a few more to open. So, and they did have live music playing, so it was nice.
It was a very nice atmosphere, but I almost wonder if it's because there's less Disney people at Disneyland because there's less hotels, so it might be more day trippers.
You mean hardcore Disney?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right. There's more hardcore Disney travelers at Disney World, perhaps. I don't know.
But like if you're just going for a day trip, maybe you're not wearing your latest Spirit jersey or whatever, but maybe you're buying it, so maybe that's why the stores have it.
It could be that California is just a more stylish, it is. It's more,
Hey, I don't know.
A little bit more stylish than Florida Disney World is. It's not actually known as the style capital, whereas West Coast has a little bit more of a reputation of red carpets and style.
To be fair,
maybe that's it.
It's also closer to a big city, like Orlando versus LA. It's a little different.
All right, so there you have it. There's a difference. Different styles, sort of interesting and fun if you travel to both places a lot to notice the differences. And if you're packing, maybe you want to pack more, maybe you don't. But everybody fits in anyway. Of course, it's Disney Parks and Resorts. So there you have it, our style comparison, Disneyland versus Walt Disney World. All right, everyone, thanks for listening. As always, follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street. Visit us at 1923mainstreet.com for your subtle Disney. And that'll fit in well at Disneyland. We'll see you again next week and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.